Today I'm sitting here with entrepreneur and investor Richy Rich. He is CEO and founder of 7 national companies and an acclaimed business management consultant with many awards and citations. He is also a trusted advisor of over 200 corporate clients. He has traveled and trained all over the world, and today he is here to talk to us about starting your own trucking company by making passive income and beginning your journey to financial freedom. Richy, welcome. It's a pleasure for you to be here today.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And if you don't mind me asking, I'll get straight right into it by asking, why did you choose trucking?
I'd have to say that comes as a passion as a kid. Playing with the trucks, seeing the big trucks on the road. Of course, always trying to get them to blow their air horns at you. Getting on the floor and playing with my trucks, thinking it was me cruising up and down the interstate. And just an ultimate, when I grow up, I wanted to be a truck driver. And ultimately, that passion really didn't manifest till a little bit later in life. I actually started out in the fitness industry with a franchise of gyms, and I predicted a trend, and thank goodness that I did, and got out of that industry. I had sold out my gyms, and I had took my wife and my children on vacation. And while we were on vacation, I was talking to a couple of truck drivers actually, and it just kind of clicked on my head, man. I could travel the country. I love to travel, and get paid for it. And so I'm assuming, like most commercial drivers, within just a couple of days, I had applied and got into a CDL school. It was like a 3-week accelerated course. They push you out the CDL, put me in a truck with a trainer. I think I stayed out there 4 to 6 weeks with them, and I didn't expect to make a lot of money during the student phase, but when I went solo, I tried multiple different options. And solo, for those out there who don't know what trucking is, it's you either drive, solo is just driving your truck by yourself, or you can drive as a team, which is you and a co-driver. And I tried different options, tried different companies with different pay structures. I tried lease purchases to find out that was a benefit to the carriers, and actually caused me a huge extreme loss of home time away from my family. And I was just really confused about how much this industry was worth and why I was barely making it, but yet putting the sacrifices out there, staying on the road all the time. And it just intrigued me. I knew that there was money, and I figured that it was in the back end, in the actual trucking companies. And so I got a job as a I come off the road. I got a job as a CDL instructor at a CDL school. I really wanted to tread all areas of transportation and become a commercial licensing examiner, and I trained hundreds and hundreds of students. I left from there, I think, and I went back on the road, this time, again, trying to chase more income. I was told that if I would train drivers over the road after they were coming out of CDL school, that I had a bunch of potential to make all this money. And man, I'll tell you, that was really scary. I've had some times in trucks with students, and just weighing risk versus what I was doing, and the money wasn't even all that much better. I quit doing that, and I ended up getting a job with a trucking company that trained me in safety. Which was amazing because it allowed me to learn the regulations. Trucking, as far as safety goes, is still a passion for me today. I broke away from the company because there was no money. I was looking for this huge pursuit of all this revenue that was in the industry. And I did freelance consulting, and it's still a very integral part of who I am today. I still advise on safety. I think last year alone, I was in like 42 compliance reviews for my customers with the FMCSA, and I left from there and started doing safety. And one day it just clicked. I just said the money in this industry is in owning your own trucking company, and it really was. But I had nowhere to start. Nobody had ever told me this. This is not something, when I was in safety at the trucking companies, I'd work alongside with dispatchers. I got to understand the logistics, the brokers. And so I had a large knowledge, but I didn't even know how to start to get my DOT authority number. There were some firms and companies out there that claimed that if I would give them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, that they would walk me through. my due diligence revealed most of the guys didn't know what they was talking about. So I chose not to go with them, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I freestyled it. Lots of research, lots of time invested, and I got past that point, and the trucking company, my trucking company took off, and really it's paved the way for me in this industry to invest and become the entrepreneur I am today with the broad portfolio that I have.
And for the viewers who don't understand trucking, can you give us a little snapshot?
Yeah, sure. So the snapshot of the trucking industry in general, there was two main things that attracted me with this industry. One is that it produces $726 billion annually. So if you was to convert the trucking industry to a country with GDP, trucking would be the 37th richest nation in the world. It is the richest industry. There's not another industry in the United States that produces more revenue than trucking. Something else that kind of amazed me about the trucking industry and looking at the snapshot of things is that every single industry was tied to this industry, making it the true backbone of America. And I think that people predict if trucks were to shut down, for example, within 72 hours, the whole nation would be chaotic. There would be no food. It was the real true backbone. Not only that, but in business, you want to grow and grow fast. And that's exactly what trucking has done, making it not only the richest industry in the nation above all others, and everything is tied to that, but you got to think we're just now a little over 100 years in the trucking industry, and it became the richest revenue generator for the country. So that was some things that will inspire your viewers as well as what inspired me. There's 500,000 trucking companies in the United States, and that was kind of defeating to me at first because I was hoping there would be a larger share of the 726 billion, especially after all the time and opportunity costs that I put into the trucking industry. And my further due diligence revealed that 450,000 of these registered carriers only had 1 to 6 trucks. And that, with the nation's shortage of drivers and all the things going on, I knew that I could get into this industry and master it. And the viewers that are watching your show can also do that. To give you an example, snapshot of trucking, they estimate that 1 out of every 15 residents in the United States either know somebody, related to somebody that's in the trucking industry. Right now, the trucking industry employs like 8 million in the U.S. Not to say that all your food, all your cars, your clothes, pretty much anything in the United States is hauled on our nation's highways. There's over 400 billion miles driven, Abigail, annually in the United States. So I'm assuming you're not a truck driver. Obvious. And so if you was to get into your car right now and as one person and try to drive the average miles driven by a trucking company, you could cover the earth 17 million times, which is crazy. There's over 8 million registered trucks in the United States right now. And that's just registered. I think there's like 15 million trucks total. So if you was to bobtail, which means a truck without a trailer, and you was to line all these trucks up, you would actually be able to bobtail truck to truck all the way to the moon. So that helps you to understand the vastness of the trucking industry and to answer your questions.
So Richy, tell me how the viewers can use your products and program to get into the trucking industry.
Well, one, we have an online portal, a community. In that portal, it's A to Z for everything that you need, composed by myself and other leaders in the trucking industry. It covers everything from your DOT, your FMCSA, new entrance audits, driver qualification files. I mean, we provide everything. It's not an a la carte service. We are your one-on-one advisor all the way until the day that you get your first truck rolling on the highway. We have an online portal with all that information, but I also personally jump on a call once a week Usually I have guest speakers, drivers, different people that we jump on a huge conference call with our members of the portal and allow them to ask questions. And they also get their own one-on-one support advisor. And literally, we're the only, I think, our services are there for you till the day that you get into the trucking industry and actually put your trucks on the road. And what we've noticed is that a lot of our customers continue to stay loyal to us and just be involved with the community, share their success stories with other members. And again, you know, my biggest passion in this industry for transportation, the reason for me starting World Class Business Advisory, which is the entity that runs the trucking consulting, was to obviously help drivers because company drivers are making $40,000 a year, the average driver, versus the average owner operator is making $200,000 a year, and they're both driving the same 100,000 miles a year. So that gives them a better chance to get into financial freedom. But you know, it's not just drivers. We can put anybody, literally A to Z, on how to get into a truck and get rolling. And we offer a 100% guarantee on that or your money back.
With that being said, how long on average does it take to start to finish for one to own their own truck?
That depends on the person. And remember, our portal that has all the information, applications, everything in it, working you through the DOT, the new entrance audits, getting your truck, getting your IFTA, HUT stickers, highway use tax. I mean, there's so many different avenues depending on, you know, a lot of our customers work average jobs for the regular earned income. And they get into it as passive income and, you know, for something on the side, or they're looking for a new earned income venture. And so a lot of them have full-time jobs, but I'd say depending on the person and the true commitment and the passion, anywhere between 3 to 6 months. And it varies case by case.
So maybe my mind is wandering a little bit like the viewers. Purchasing trucks and trailers could involve lots of equity and credit. So if someone has no money or no credit, is it worth them giving you a call?
Absolutely, Abigail. I'll tell you why. As you mentioned earlier in our introduction, we have 7 companies right now within our portfolio. And one of our companies specifically is nothing but we originate our own loans. We have hard money lending. We have venture capitalists that's within this company. And these investors are making decisions contrary to our company where to invest in trucking. So if one of our customers gets through to the program where they're going to go purchase a truck or a trailer, if they choose that option, then we have funding sources available on a case-by-case basis, so working and networking with other investors. As far as credit, we also offer within World Class Business Advisory, which is the entity that's operating the trucking consulting for people wanting to get into the trucking industry. They offer a prerequisite class of credit counseling. And I'm not talking, when I say credit counseling, I'm not talking your average credit scam, we boost your points, etc. It's actually totally legitimate. And I've seen some people fluctuate in their points sometimes well over 100 points in a month, because we realize the impact of myself, and networking with other entrepreneurs, and just the general United States population that credit is the king. You know, you need credit. The amount of savings, obviously, in your lifetime for somebody with bad credit to good credit. And so we want to set you up for success. We don't want you failing in the industry. So we have credit counseling available as well. So regardless of credit or cash, we have the connections. Yes, definitely open to everybody. Like I said earlier, I can walk about anybody A to Z how to start a trucking company.
To my viewers out there who are interested in getting into the trucking industry, you can contact World Class Business Advisory at 888-325-0140. Again, that number is 888-325-0140. Make sure to follow them on social media and also shoot them an email at richyrich@transformyourcompany.org. Richy, thanks again for your time. I know you're an extremely busy person. I hope that you're able to come join us again for another talk.
Thank you for the interview.